Hey everyone, welcome back. Always grateful to have you guys tuning in to today's message. And today, it's one that I hope hits you in the heart, like I always say. But today, I really want to share this particular message with you guys in the hope that it just gets you out of your own way, out of those fears and those insecurities and those ways that you hold yourself back, and ultimately allows you to step into a more meaningful life. The life that you and I both know you were here to experience, not the one that you end up settling for in life. And so this message is definitely not one for the faint-hearted, for the skeptics out there who want to stay small and limited. This one is for all of you guys who really want to reach for new heights of your potential, and you're not willing to let yourself or any other people get in the way of your growth and your progress. So as always, I want to hear from you guys. So if you're tuning in, where in the world are you tuning in from? What's going on in your world? And I'd love for you guys to play along at home and drop me some comments, say hi. And any questions or comments or words of wisdom that you want to share along this part of the journey, that would be absolutely amazing. And so today we are going to dive into a really powerful topic. It's one that I'm actually going to be speaking and presenting about at a couple of different free online summits that you guys can definitely be a part of. Links are up above. You can get your free tickets. One is the Personal Growth E-Summit, which is going to have another, I think, 15 amazing speakers in the realm of personal development, talking about how you can develop your growth mindset and reach your potential. And then I'm speaking at another event, which is a youth summit. So if you have teenagers, or you are a teenager, or you want to help teenagers with their leadership, or you're just interested in that topic, you might want to join us for that one as well. So let's dive in. Today's message is don't fear failure, be terrified of regret, okay? So I'm asking you guys to get scared, right? Get so scared, so get so terrified, which seems contradictory, but get so terrified that you get yourself into some action. All right, it's one thing to focus on what we really want in our lives and how beautiful and amazing and idealistic our lives can be, but sometimes that doesn't actually get us into the action right here, right now, and leaves us kind of daydreaming. And one of the ways that we can tap into the energy that we have stored here and get ourselves into action that's actually going to make those dreams, those aspirations become a reality, is to tap into what we're terrified of. You guys have probably heard me say before, follow your fears, right? Because they lead you towards your values. Well, when you tap into your regrets, your potential regrets, right? You can look at your current regrets if you have any. Look at the things that you've regretted in your life. But the way I'm talking about it, you might want to use it this way as well, or instead, is to project out to the end of your life, right? You are that 90, 100, however long you think you're going to live, 150, if you're really idealistic, that older man or woman, out there in your future, and you're at the end of your life, right? And if you currently just lived your life as it is, what do you most fear you'd regret? What would be your biggest regrets right now? Like, what would terrify you if you got to the end of your life where there's no time left on the clock, you have no time to change or go or grow or anything at this point? What would absolutely terrify you to be in regret of? All right. So I want to ask you guys that, and drop me a comment if something comes to mind. Basically for me, that's all about me not living to my potential. If I didn't actualize what's authentically inspiring to me as an individual, if I felt like I just lived my life to the expectations of others, I hadn't lived true to myself. If I felt like I'd lost myself in my relationships, which has been a pattern that I have had in my past. If I felt like I'd just settled for a mediocre existence, and not ultimately reached for something, that was really meaningful, that I didn't feel like I had some sort of meaningful impact or contribution being made to the people closest to me and in the work that I do. Those are the things that I would absolutely regret. Not living authentically, not living up to my potential, not backing myself, holding myself back, and losing myself in relationships and to the expectations of others. All of those things are what I would regret the most if I got to the end, and, that would be the most terrifying regrets I could possibly come up with, right? And so basically, I'm not trying to be all negative with this. This has actually got a really empowering outcome, result that can come from this, right? So basically, if you know ahead of time what your biggest regrets in life, what you'd be most terrified of having as your regrets at the end of your life, because a lot of us know what we don't want, and it's hard for us to decide and determine what it is that we do want. Well, this is your quickest way and your quickest pathway to discovering that. If you know what you absolutely do not want to happen, what's the opposite of that? You can look at everybody in life, if they are, growing themselves and not holding themselves back, they're doing the very things that would help other people not have those same regrets that they're so terrified of. That's exactly why, what do? I help people actualize their potential. I help them create meaning and fulfillment in their lives. I help them be truly authentic and tap into what they're inspired by. I help them discover what their gifts and their talents are and align with that, and align with their values. I help them to not lose themselves in their intimate relationships and create something extraordinary that can role model for others what's possible in that realm. All of those different things that I do, that I'm passionate about, that inspire me the most, are directly connected. They're on the other end of the polarity to my deepest regrets, fearful regrets, whatever I'd fear the most at the end of my life of not attaining. It's really a reflection of what matters most to me. And it's the same for you. So whatever, if you really thought into it, what would you most regret? What would you be so terrified of regretting at the end of your life? Would it be that you didn't make the connections that you really yearned for? Would it be that you held yourself back and you didn't go for what inspired you, what you aspired to create in your life? Would it be that, you stayed too long in relationships that were just completely dead-ended and you knew it, Would it be that you held that grudge, you didn't move past it, and you sacrificed all those years that you could have had closeness of connection with a family member or a loved one, or somebody that, you gave all your power away to and you never took it back? Like, what is it for you? What would you most be afraid of regretting at the end of your life? It will alert you to what you value most. Have the courage to go there and look at it, because when we focus on our fears, when we actually look at them, we don't stay and dwell in them and have them take over our mind and our being, but we look at them, we acknowledge them, we go, that's not a bad thing, that's not something to avoid. It's something that's clearly pointing to what matters most to me as an individual. Now the question is, do I let my fears win? Do I stay small? Or do I step forward and do I use my ability to face my fears head on? Do I use my ability to use courage in a meaningful way that's going to push the needle forward, and I'm going to, heed that call towards my destiny? Which one? Because you're always at choice point. Even not getting clear on this sort of stuff, you're choosing to do that or not do that, right? You're choosing not to get clear, and that in itself is a decision that you're making that could ultimately lead you towards that terror of what you'd regret. Because unaddressed fears become your reality. Addressed fears become your inspired destiny. All right, think about it that way. All right, that's ultimately what you want to be focused on. Whatever you don't address will manifest. right? It's kind of got a ring to it, you know, but whatever you really do focus on and you address it, you find solutions. You find solutions, you find meaning, you find value, you find the hidden value behind what you were so terrified of, and you just realize you're so terrified of it because it's so meaningful for you to reach and attain the kind of life and the kind of states of being that you ultimately would love to have in your life, all right? So that's my message for you guys. Don't fear failure. Be terrified of regret. Failure, you know, when we fear failure, we don't move. And we definitely don't define what we want, because when we define what we want, what do? We simultaneously define what we don't want. What's, you know, we'll know whether we're moving in the right direction or not. So a lot of us haven't got the courage to get clear on what we actually want in our lives because we're terrified that we'll set ourselves up for failure. We'll know, we'll be conscious of our failures if we're clear on what we want in our future. If we're clear on our goal, we're also clear when we fail and we don't meet our goal. But there's something more terrifying than that. And that is not ever knowing when you failed. And you fail so much that you take yourself way off track and you're not even consciously aware to be able to get yourself back on track. You know, that's more scary. So don't be afraid to face and follow your fears. I do it all the time. I use my fears to alert me to what I value so I can stay in authentic alignment. Because whatever is authentic to you is where your meaning is, you know, where your fulfillment lays. You know, and so you can try and live a cushy life where you've not planned anything, you've not got clear on anything, and you just kind of get by, you know, in this constant habitual patterns of life, and you just kind of go through the whole normal daily routine. Maybe you earn some money, maybe you connect with a few people, but it's kind of mediocre. You know, maybe you just wake up, it's Groundhog Day, it's the same stuff all the time. You can do that, but you're going to be at the end of your life with those regrets. So, you know, do something, as we know, what your future self will thank you for, and have the courage to face your fears. Don't be afraid of failure. Be afraid of not trying to move in the direction of what matters most to you. And if you're unclear of what matters most to you, look at your biggest regrets, what you'd be terrified of experiencing at the end of your life. That's where your meaning is. Okay, so hope this has served you. Hope it gets you thinking, and you're going to question yourself and actually use and glean the wisdom and the value that can come from really asking yourself these questions. And I hope that it sparks you into some empowered action. All right, so I want to check in with you guys, see who's been able to join me. So drop me a comment, and I've got Judy in the house, and Deanne, and Lisa, and Jamie, and Deb, and Jamie. Hello, beautiful souls. Good to see you, my friend. And Giannis Calimera to you, and Michelle is here, and Gerardo, and Daryl. Awesome quote here. We need you, the best version of you. You're here for a reason, and we can't wait to see what that is. Stay in your lane and run the race. Grace Geely. I love that. What a beautiful quote. Perfect timing as usual, Daryl, and thank you so much for sharing that, and great way to wrap up our conversation today. But anyway, all about don't fear failure, be terrified of regret. All right, use this to your benefit, and as always, I'm sending you guys all of my love, light, blessings, gratitude, energy, enthusiasm, everything extraordinary coming to you to wherever you are in the world today. I really do hope that it's beautiful, amazing, and extraordinary, that you're doing something super empowering, and today's message has definitely served you. Thank you so much for you guys who could join me live today and contribute to the conversation. And if you're watching this and you have any questions or words of wisdom or experiences that you want to share and add to the conversation, please drop me a comment and I'll check in with you guys a bit later. But I'm signing off. I'm sending you guys all of my love, and I'll see you tomorrow.